Dave from cheapwinefinder.com again, and we got another wine today. Just to talk about, we've had some extravaganzas lately for podcasts, but this is just one of the regular old companion podcasts for a wine we put on the cheapwinefinder.com website. And I think I'm in a little bit of a rut lately because everything's either Zinfandel, Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, or Sauvignon Blanc, but I'm kind of happy drinking what I'm drinking. And this is another Sauvignon Blanc. It's the High Valley Sauvignon Blanc 2018. And it's from Shannon Ridge Winery. They own thousands of acres in Lake County. Lake County is just due north of Napa Valley. I think their headquarters is like 35 miles away from Napa. It's right up there, and they do a lot of wines. This is just one of their labels. They're a really high-end, really quality winemaker, and this is a single vineyard Sauvignon Blanc. High Valley is in the northeast corner of Lake County, and it's between 1,600 and 3,000 feet altitude. You know, it's kind of like the wines from Chile or Argentina or something, or Argentina up in the Andes. This is fairly high up for vineyards. A single vineyard, Betsy's Vineyard. So this comes from one kind of section of one vineyard, and I think I found it for $11.99. The funny thing is that I went to their website, High Valley's website, and it's listed for $27 on their website. And that's not unusual. The discrepancy in price is fairly unusual, but it's common for a winery website to put the wine on there at a higher price than you can buy at a retail wine shop because they don't want to compete with the people who are selling their wines. It's, common sense. And so they just put a price up there. If you happen to buy it from them online, fine. They're happy to sell it to you, but they don't want to compete with the people who are working day to day to sell their wines for them. And this is going to be kind of an interesting, fun wine. When I wrote the review, I said I'm looking forward. This is not going to be Bordeaux. In Bordeaux, they had Semillon, and they sometimes put them in oak, and some of these. Some of the Blancs, one of the white wines, Sauvignon Blancs from Bordeaux, you can age 25 years. It's not going to be New Zealand. It's not going to be Loire Valley. It's not going to be Central Coast. It's not going to be California. It's not going to be the coastal Chile. It's going to be something completely different. And I kind of like Sauvignon Blanc, and something completely different appeals to me. And Shannon Ridge and High Valley wines are kind of interesting. I put the link in the website on the page. They use sheep to keep the weeds down, to keep the canopy down, and to fertilize the vineyards. It's kind of interesting. They have a whole article about that fairly simple, easy to grasp thing about how sheep help the vineyards and keeps things keeps things natural. And then it's kind of a cool wine. They kind of do things right. They're sustainably farmed. They're doing things the way they should be doing. And this is like I said, an inexpensive single vineyard Sauvignon Blanc, and it's kind of really different. I mean, it's there are elements of it that are just like the Sauvignon Blancs you are used to, but there's kind of like there's like sweet or ripe fruit and citrus, and then a kind of a harder edge. And then there's like a salty thing and a smooth thing and a sharp thing. It's not just one thing. It's not one of those wines, because sometimes Sauvignon Blanc, the first sip is all you need, or the first time you smell the aromas coming out of the glass, it tells you everything you want to know. You take the first sip and then you just start having fun and drinking it. This is a wine that I think you can spend a little bit more time with, trying to find out what's going on. That your second sip might be a little bit different than your first sip. It's kind of interesting that way. And, it's not going to be exactly what you expect, but a lot of it's going to be there, and there'll be some other things. And that's kind of fun about this, because you're getting a single vineyard wine, because, a lot of times the inexpensive wines from New Zealand are like kind of a taste of Marlborough. It might be from, 7 different vineyards. It might actually be wines from, leftovers from 6 different producers. You don't know. It doesn't matter if it's good. But this is going to be a wine with some terroir. Terroir is the French concept. When you are a vineyard, and a winery, and you own your own vineyard, and every year different thing that the vineyard develops in different ways, and you have this experience with the vineyard, and every year, every vintage, you have to make the wine in accordance to what happened in the vineyard year after year. And the winemaker's there for 40 years, and he passes down his knowledge to his son, who's there for another 40 years, and et cetera. That's kind of terroir. Doesn't really happen in California so much. It's one of those things where you have a lot of smaller vineyards and smaller wineries. That's what you're going to push. When you have bigger vineyards, and even a lot of the estates in California own 10 vineyards, you're not going to get terroirs so much. But here you're getting it. You're getting a single vineyard. You're kind of getting a certain section of that vineyard. You're getting to know what that vineyard tastes like with this wine. And it's not priced out of hand. Sauvignon Blanc, especially, this is in stainless. It's not, it's 2018. It's not that, it's not really something you're going to want to age or anything. I imagine you could a little bit, but not too much. So you're getting something that's slightly or kind of unique to what it is. And it tastes really good. And it's an interesting wine. And you put a chill on it. Doesn't cost a lot, and you're really getting a little bit more than what the competition is giving, if you ask me. Though I do like the other Sauvignon Blancs, so they're just juicy and fruity, and to that regard, I kind of like that. But here we go with a wine that's going to be different. It's going to be singular. It's not going to be exactly like the other Sauvignon Blancs, which is always nice to have a change of pace wine that's exactly the same grape as the ones you're trying to get a change of pace from. So that's it for me. We're talking about inexpensive, but has a lot of high-end things about it. High Valley Sauvignon Blanc 2018. Check out I have links in the review for the winery and the things about the sheep and that type of thing. So check that out. It's interesting. It should be available in a lot of different places. It shouldn't be a wine that's, only boutique shops. It should be available all over. Lake County is one of those places that you probably had their grapes before. Shannon Ridge has thousands of acres, but they sell off 50% of their grapes and use the other 50% for their wines. So a lot of times you see California on the label. That's actually half of that, or part of that, it's coming from Lake County. They are everywhere, and you've had it before, and you probably liked it. So that's it for me, Dave. Things seem to be open up around here. Who knows what it's going to be like on the other side of the lockdown. But we shall see, and we shall keep coming at you with our wine reviews and extravaganzas. And adios, bye-bye, and keep it cheap.